YouTube. We back with part 3, 89 on up, homie, on the edge with BJ, APB. And on part 3, we gonna talk about a few good Hispanic homies or a few different race homies that we knew that was solid inside the blood community, homie. So can you name a couple Hispanic homies you knew out the blood community or from your turf that was like a good homie or something? Or a homie from a different area
Yeah,
or something?
well, I'm gonna name a few from different areas. All races are homies because these are good homies. You had Alfredo from APB. You had Danny Boy, Big Danny Boy, Little Danny Boy, APB. You had Big Taco, Little Taco, APB. You got Looney Kev, Little Looney Kev from Peblos. You got the homie Chinaman from BPS. You got a million homies out there in Carson. You know what I mean?
On
From
the real.
Five-Town Bloodz out there to the West Side Pyrus. Bonnie and the Joker, West Side Bonnie and the Joker from Carson. You know what I mean? He's Samoan. You know what I mean? You got Bad Boy from Carson, West Side Pyru. All these dudes in general are good ass homeboys, but they other races.
Right,
you know what I mean? They not black. You know what I mean?
Right, but they rider homies that supported our community.
Right. Then you got the OG homie from my hood, Gangster Mike. He's German. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's then you had Snow from 456.
Right.
Pyru, he was a white boy. You know what I mean? Them the only white boys that I knew, or considered white.
Yeah. I knew we had a homeboy named Montbo, and he was pushing Oceanside Bloodz, homie. And he kind of ran with us, homie, and he was kind of solid on the Penn State before. And I knew we had a homeboy, I forgot his name, but I think he was white or Hispanic, but he was claiming Lime Hood Paru, if I'm not mistaken. And I know from my turf.
Right. I think you're talking about Esberry from Nandu's Bishop. You talking about I think his name Nacho.
On the real, I think so.
I think you might be talking about Nacho. Right.
And my homeboy Taco from my turf, was a historic monumental piece to our turf. And before Taco, I remember at my beginning stages in the turf, it was another homie that went by Taco. But eventually he moved on. I don't really want to say how his thing went, homie, but he wound up eventually moving on. And the original Taco that people see today or heard about inside our neighborhood at its youthful time, he wind up stepping up and taking the name as Big Taco. But back then, homie, we was like, that was it, homie, because we knew in future time and just hearing how we spoke in part 2 and part 1, it was hard to make the cut. Not only against the ops, which was the Crips at that time, but also you had to be a hell of a person to stand up to the homies as well, being up under a different race, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it was the same way in my hood, as far as Big Taco and Little Taco, I don't want to speak on their situation or whatever, but the one that we have left now is Lady Taco. And she's a supreme home girl, you know what I mean? She's a real one, she's younger than me, but I done chilled with her a couple of times and had conversations with her, and she got a good mind frame of what's going on and stuff like that.
Right.
But the bottom line is, when I was on the streets, these same homies that I'm talking about, I never heard my homie Gangster Mike use the N-word. That never came out of his mouth as long as I've known him. and I've been knowing him since '85.
Correct.
And I ain't never heard him use the N-word. You know what I mean? Now, we had another white homie I forgot about. His name was Stewart, Big Stu. Same thing with him. I never heard him call nobody the N-word. But as far as the Mexican homies, I heard the homie Alfredo say it a gang of times, and I heard the homie Danny Boy say it a gang of times. And the homie Danny Boy, he used to be rapping. So that was always like coming out of his mouth. It wasn't nothing funny. He
That was his
rapped
inner.
and said it, talk shit to you and said it. And nobody never said nothing. It was like, that's our brother.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And that's how we looked at that with Taco and other homies. It was like, if you really ain't saying this, homie, we looking, you know, because my generation, we tad up under y'all, so we was looking like, if dudes ain't saying this, homie, you ain't solidified, homie. If you ain't really pushing like how the homies is pushing down to the dialogue, to the dress and everything with the culture, homie. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, this shit always be a up in the air topic. What can you tell the younger homies of different races that's doing this, homie? What can you tell them, homie? What would you like to tell them, homie, that's doing this and giving it all they got, homie?
I'm going to tell them just like this, you know, and this is some honest shit coming from my heart. I'm not speaking for nobody else. I'm speaking for me. Me personally, if you join a black gang, and give it your all, and don't join for your selfish reasons. Meaning don't join it as, yeah, one day I'm going to run the hood, or one day I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Join it because that's your community and you want to help out your brothers in your community. Because once you join, that's your family too. Regardless of how people may feel about you using certain words, because shit, even in my own household, certain words I ain't supposed to use, but I do it. So therefore, shouldn't be knocking other races for doing it. And I really don't try to be a hypocrite with my own homies.
Yeah.
I just really don't like when outside people do it in general. You feel me?
Right.
But I want y'all to know that give it your all, and you're going to be accepted by those that recognize you real.
Right.
Some people are always going to be jealous. You can't make everybody happy.
Right.
Do you, homie, and be proud and stay proud with it. And trust me, in the end, you'll be recognized.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And do we love these homies of different ethnicities, even though this is the rules, things that been set in stone? Do we still love these dudes, homie?
Yeah, we love them. Shit, I know I did. I love all my homies, regardless if they white, Mexican, black, Asian, green, Martian. It don't matter. He came in my neighborhood, and we done slept at each other's house, ate, and my mama loved him, and his mama loved me. Shit, that's my family. I hate to say it as far as the N-word go, but shit, we family. It ain't nothing I can do about that. I can't pick and choose who my family is. All I can do is take care of them.
Right. Is it other Damus you ran across that feel the same way you just spoke right now about loving the homies from different races?
Shit, to be truthful, the majority of the Damus feel like that. It's just that
these are just the rules. Yeah.
Right. See, the thing is, you got to understand that the Damus that came before us, the ones that came off of that Black Panther era, they got that racism in them. You know what I mean? Because of what they went through. And they try to influence us to be the same way. Don't get me wrong. I understand their pain and their struggles, but if you are part of us, then I feel it's okay to do the same thing as we do. It shouldn't be you a part of us, but you can't ride my bicycle, but I can ride yours. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I had mixed feelings about it, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna turn my homie away because he called me a nigga and I feel some type of way. That's still my homeboy. I'm not gonna fight him over it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He just better not get offended if I say something. But I'm not gonna say nothing to him in the open either, in front of other races or nothing while we in the prison.
Right.
We on the street shit, we can talk openly all day, but in prison, I'm not gonna say nothing to him in the open because I don't want other racists thinking, because he called me a nigga, they could do it.
Right. So before I close it out, OG, I want to ask you one more question. Have you ever been on the yard with homies that was Hispanic that had rank and the South Siders ever try to whisper in their ear or convert them? Or have you ever seen them try to convert any rider Hispanic homies over to the South Side car?
Hell yeah, it's gonna stay happening. It don't be nothing personal. You know, the South Side, and a lot of people think that we're enemies with the Mexicans. In actuality, us and the Mexicans come from poverty, so we supposed to be blood brothers.
Right.
But somewhere along the lines, we start hating each other. And as we start hating each other, they try to do what they supposed to do. Meaning, if they see their people claiming a black gang, it's not all of them, but certain ones feel like he should be in the Mexican gang. So yeah, you're going to see the whispers. That's why sometimes a conversation might take place in Spanish because they don't want you to hear what's being said. It's up to that homie to be loyal and tell us what's being said.
And have you ever ran across some loyal homies? Not to cut you off, have you ever ran across some loyal homies that reported back what they said back to the black car, the blood homies?
Yeah, there's plenty of loyal homies. I'm not gonna say their name on the wire because
for real.
I don't want the people that talk to him to stop talking to him like, oh, he a spy, you know?
Right.
That's how people look at it.
Right.
But the proof is in the pudding because them loyal homies are still bloods.
Right. And just for me, the dialogue in after you just got in, homie. I love all homies that's solid from any race, homie. And like the homie said in this thing, homie, it's just certain words that we just can't use, period. Like we can't call each other a bitch word. We can't call each other snitches. We can't call. So I understand certain homies feeling a certain type of way about dialogue. We all gonna get down like that. And to the homies that's from different races that feel like you might not just can't reach the top, it's a lot of us members that's black that's in these gangs that can't reach the top. And we done gave it all we had just because of blockage, haterism, and all kind of shit. But that don't stop us from doing what we do because, homie, you got to remember when you join these street gangs, dog, we not doing it for popularity of ourselves, likes, followers, and all that shit. We doing it for this neighborhood that the homie started. We doing it for the hood to look good, the hood to stay pressing, homie. So I'm going to close it out on this 60 seconds. We're going to say we love y'all, homie, and stay tuned for 89 on up, homie, and On the Edge with BJ APB, homie. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, homie. We out.